and welcome to Around the Clock. I'm Yolanda Greaves with my co-host.
I'm Mark Jewett.
And we are not in Ashland today, we are in Hopkinton. We are at the start line of the Boston Marathon, and our show today is going to be about the marathon that happened on April 21st, as well as some other things about Ashland. Mark, what else is happening today?
We have Chief Key coming in for our personnel interview. He'll be talking about the Ashland Fire Department, his career, and some of the stuff that they did to prepare for the race, as well as you say, visiting the marathon with you live on site, and a bunch of other things that happen up to the race, like the runner appreciation dinner at TJ's, the Norton Brothers walkthrough on the race, and a whole bunch of stuff folks will be interested in tuning in on.
So stay with us as we take you through Around the Clock Boston Marathon.
Well, before we head back to the studio, we have a little brief chat here with Jack Ledoux. Jack's famous for painting the starting line here at the Boston Marathon. How you doing, Jack?
I'm doing well.
It's a little brisk today, though.
It is. We shouldn't be painting lines in December.
But you're a good guy. You can actually stop traffic. That's impressive.
Well, you know, you wear the right color, and here we go.
And what's up for Monday? What do you think?
Monday's going to be a great weather-wise day for runners. A little bit of a headwind. They would pray for a tailwind, but if there was a tailwind, I could see records fall.
And how long have you been here, Jack? Tell us the truth.
Here.
Boston.
Painting the lines.
Painting the line.
My
first line was 1982.
1982.
Prior to that, I painted a sign for Johnny Kelly that went up on #1 Ash, honoring him on his 50th Boston Marathon.
And have you ever run yourself?
I've run 15.
15.
Yeah. Gave it up 2 years ago. Gave it up for Lent, never took it up again.
So I see you've had to touch up the line a little bit this year.
Had to touch it up a little bit. It would have been completely invisible by Monday. You know, we had snow the following day after we painted, and the sand and salt do a number on it.
All right, well, we as well as I'm sure the community appreciate your work.
Will you be
here.
running?
I will not be running. I'll actually be in Natick hosting a barbecue party right on the course line. We'll be tweeting in pictures to Yolanda, who's going to be live on the course.
Excellent. All right.
All right, well, we're going to head back to the studio before we get run over by any cars, so stick with us. It's Around the Clock. All right, well, welcome back to the studio. It's nice at that starting line. That's quite a job by Mr. Ledoux.
They do a great job with that, and it'll be fun to see all the runners go over it on Monday.
It will. All right, well, as we said, this is our marathon-themed show, but we're going to do our normal selectmen update. So the meeting was actually quite brief this week, but there was some heavy hitter items. You want to?
Yeah, it's interesting. Meetings that I think are going to go longer. We've still been able to get everything done in like 2 hours and 15 minutes. We had a great presentation to start to Martin Shapiro. It was his 90th birthday, and he was touched. You could tell that he really appreciated it with our proclamation, and then Karen Spilka was there with hers from the Senate, and she brought Tom's, and members from the Temple spoke, and Peter Chisholm from Framingham State, and it was just very nice to see, and then the people there supporting Martin. So he's done a lot of good things for the community, so that's nice to see.
It's very well done. He looks good for 90.
He does. I hope I look that good on 90. And then we had a liquor hearing for Fusion Restaurant. Some people may have heard they've been having some issues overpouring and people leaving the restaurant and having some problems. So we had a lengthy discussion about that, and we're hoping the main goal, I think, is that they change their behavior. And that the true public safety is the issue, and that we see what happens with that. It was a very lengthy discussion, though, that we had, so if anyone watched, we won't talk about it as long as
there were some good points. It
were.
Was a good discussion about not only the issues there, the need for corrective action, sort of setting a baseline for what the current Board of Selectmen expect for behavior and what would be retribution if that behavior isn't maintained. So I thought it was a good discussion.
Yep. And then we had some housekeeping things. We approved and to vote and to post the annual town election. That is going to be on Tuesday, May 20th. So it seems like it's a long time away, but it's not. You can no longer register to vote. You had to be registered by the 17th of April to be able to vote in the town meeting. And for that, so if you haven't registered, then certainly pay attention, but you'll have to wait until the November elections. We revised our vote for the field enterprise budget. We had looked at that our last meeting, and the reason we have the enterprise budget is we're in the process of taking the management of the fields that was the Ashland Field Management Group and bringing it inside to town so that the town is running it rather than just all volunteers, which with the number of fields and everything that's going on, I think it's the right time to do that.
Now that those committees have sort of got the fields up to par and everything's
Right.
established, it's time to roll it over to be normally administered by the town. I
Right,
agree.
right. And then we approved the 2015 townwide budget. We do have a balanced budget, and it is now available. I'll let you pull out your copy. Yep, so this is the Town of Ashland, Massachusetts operating budget and capital plan for fiscal year 2015. There's copies available at Town Hall that you can take, and then if you want to just go sit at the library, you can sit there and read it.
It's online also,
and it's
right?
also online on the website. So it's just go and do some reading before town meeting and see what the budget is. You'll notice some big changes. Not so much the overall budget, but where things are hitting and how things are aligned. Mike and Tony have done a great job doing zero-based budgeting. They went down to zero. They tied in all their strategic goals, and they went to each department and said, okay, don't tell us what you had before and how much you need of an increase. Tell us what you need.
Right.
And unfortunately, through the process, people told them what they needed, and because of our finances, they had to cut some of those things down. They certainly couldn't get everything that they needed or wanted, but I think we have a solid budget. I think it's going to be a good picture for the town to see what's really going on with the finances, and it's the first step in evaluating what the town needs to do to move forward and possibly increase services.
Yeah, and I think it's an excellent document. It's the first time this has been done in this town so that folks can see what's really going on with our budget. And
Right.
it's right there. It's available ahead of the meeting, and people
Right.
can look at that and come to town meeting prepared if they've got any actual questions.
Right, and to tie into that, Tony and Mike are going to be doing some community forums. So next on Wednesday, April 23rd at the Community Center, and then on Thursday, May 1st at the Public Library. They're going to be having forums so people can go look at the books, ask questions, and if they're seeing differences, find out what those differences mean and why they were made. So,
And sort of get a view of where the town's going financially.
Right.
Exactly.
right. And then we did our town manager evaluation. The Board of Selectmen evaluates the town manager on an annual basis. I think it was a great process that we did. So each member of the board completes their own individual evaluation, and there's 48 things that we rate the town manager on, and we give him comments, and then we compile that into one document. And Tony did a great job at being his first year. He was rated outstanding in 8 areas. So it's needs improvement, meets the job standards, exceeds job standards, and then outstanding. And in 8 areas, he received that top thing. And in 40 others, he received, exceeds job standards. So there was no place that in the compilation that anyone felt he wasn't meeting the standards of what was needed for a town manager. So.
And it's a good tool. I mean, I've been in the
It's a
business
very
world
good
for
tool.
many years, and I think sometimes people think these evaluations are rubber stamps, but this is a very thorough tool. It's utilized by all 5 Board of Selectmen
Right.
members. There's criteria, key competency information, ability to write in comments on each of the different
Right.
characteristics. A very good tool. And
Well, and I felt that it was a really good process in that each of us wrote this evaluation. We talked to Tony with our evaluation. So it was not just, okay, here's your evaluation. It was a real give and take
You got real
process. And
feedback,
he was
exactly.
very engaged and very involved in looking for the input from the board. So it was a great process, and look forward to great things from him moving
right. It can
forward.
only go
So,
up from here,
Right,
so.
right. And then we talked about the town meeting timeline and progress. So town meeting is Wednesday, May 7th at the high school. and talking about where they are with the town meeting warrant that is out there for people to look at and ask questions about. The other good news that he presented us with was the new trash contract. So we're going into a new 3-year contract, and they were able to get some rate reduction, so people will see a small adjustment, but with increase of services. So the number of days of brush pickup and things like that has increased, and so that was good to see too.
And I think to that point, I've got another exhibit.
Another exhibit, yeah.
That news is part of the annual report, and I know that we were actually unable to actually pull off the presentation of the annual report because of some conflicts with schedules and Passover, et cetera. But Tony has actually filmed the annual report here on WACA-TV, so you can go online and see when that is on and watch it. This is the book. It once again will be available online, and I believe it's available around town too. So it talks about everything that's going on in the past year in town, and once again, first time this has been done in a very long time.
Yeah, the last one was in 2009.
Right, and it's very comprehensive. It lays out all the things that are going on and a lot of the improvements. And I would really suggest, if you can, try and catch Tony on WACA-TV and listen to his presentation about all the different things going on in town. And that's just one of the good news stories.
Right, yeah. And so the annual report covers every single committee and department in the town, and it's amazing the number of committees that we have. And you bring up the state of the town that we had hoped to have, and because of different scheduling conflicts and different things going on, we weren't able to do that. And at our Board of Selectmen meeting, I was asked, was I going to tape what I was going to say there? And I'm just going to briefly touch on one of the things that I was going to talk about was how we have such great volunteers here in Ashland. And one of the things that makes Ashland the community that it is are all the people that are involved, from the committees to, the gala, the Ashland Education Foundation Gala was this amazing thing, and it's all run by volunteers. The community gardens that we have, all the boards, the historical, the Land Stewardship Committee, just all these different great things that are happening in Ashland because of volunteers. I mean, even our Board of Selectmen and the Planning Board and the School Committee. And Ashland is great because of the volunteers that support and question and do what they need to make Ashland what it is. So that's part of what I was going to say. So anyway. And,
all good.
All good. All good. And then the other piece that he talked about, and there'll be a lot more of this as they go into their forums, is the performance management update. They're calling it AshStat. And it's going to tie into the Amoresco project that they're hoping to get approved at town meeting that will then help us with some of our utilities and help us save some money there. So there's a lot of great things going on, and it's good to see it and be involved and
been
get it going.
Year full of accomplishments and a lot of stuff staged to make next year another good progress year for Ashland.
Yeah. And that was pretty much it. We accepted another donation that the police department got from Bose to help with the AEDs. Yep. And yeah.
All right. Well, another job well done managing that meeting, keeping things moving. We're happy to see that. Our folks at home watching are happy to see that too. So, tell you what, we're going to be right back with more Around the Clock, and we'll come back for our Ask the Clock segment. Remember, if you have any questions for us, you can get us at Ashland, asktheclock@gmail.com, and we're going to get an update on our pothole contest when we come back, so stick with us. All right, folks, welcome back to Around the Clock. This is our Ask the Clock segment, and as we just said, it's Ashland Around the Clock @gmail.com if you have any questions about what's going on with the selectmen, what's going on with the show, what's going on around town, or if you've got a suggestion on a segment you'd like to see, or even if you want to come and visit us and be on yourself. So
yeah, we'd love to have you and get as much information and stuff and things out to people. So all ideas are welcome.
That's right. So our current ongoing idea is our pothole picture contest.
Yep.
We have a couple new pothole pictures that came in this
Oh,
week.
good.
So we'll be showing them to you while we talk here. And it's not too late. We're going to run the contest till the next show, which will be after our meeting on April 30th. So at that point, we'll roll up the pictures and determine who found the best pothole in town. And we'll show you a picture of that pothole actually filled by our trusty DPW folks who, if you haven't noticed, have been all around town filling potholes. So.
Right, so get your pothole pictures in before they get filled.
That's right, that's right. All right, we're going to come back with Yolanda. Yolanda is interviewing Chief Key about the Ashland Fire Department, things that are going on with the fire department, things that are going on with the fire department related to the marathon.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back after this message.
Welcome back to Around the Clock. We are here with Chief Key, the Chief of the Ashland Fire Department. Chief, welcome to our show and thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, just in case there's anyone who doesn't quite know who Chief Key is?
My name is Bill Key. I'm the fire chief here in Ashland. Grew up in Ashland. Been on the department for 34 years this year, the last 19 as chief.
Great. So what are some of the changes that you've seen in how, response to fire and what the fire department does in those 34 years?
Here in Ashland, it's a big change. We used to do, when I first got on the department, the volume of calls we would do in a year, we're doing now in a month, month and a half.
Wow.
So the impact. I believe the year I got on, the population was somewhere in the area of 8,000 to 9,000. And we're unofficially probably 17,500, 18.
It's almost double.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so.
And then technically, how has technology affected how you're doing things or what you're doing?
Well, as with everything else, technology has made a huge impact on our apparatus. Everything is computer-driven, electronic. Back in the days, you used to have to crank the valves and play with the idles and things like that to adjust pump pressures. Now it's just a push of a button, which is excellent. It has its drawbacks, as with everything else. You blow a fuse and you can be out of service.
Right, right. And what now are you seeing the most calls for? What is the fire department spending most of their time on these days?
The mission of the fire department is very much diversified, especially post 9/11, as you can imagine, with the Homeland Security missions and concerns that have come on. Folks have been reading and hearing about that with the marathon.
Right.
EMS, our pre-hospital emergency medical care, has come a long way from the days of just driving as fast as you could to the hospital and hoping that you get there in time to advanced life support interventions that are taking place. It's like bringing the emergency room to the scene. That's been a huge, huge change, and it continues to evolve. The technical aspects of it, technical rescues, high angles, confined spaces, things like that.
Okay.
So the parameters of our mission change, but at the end of the day, our mission is when someone dials 911 or is in trouble and they need help, whether it be for a flooded basement or a bat in the attic, they call the fire department and we go to do our best to help them out.
A bat in the attic. You've
A
got
bat in the
those
attic.
phone calls. Okay.
Oh yeah, bats, raccoons, squirrels. Oh yeah.
Let's go back a little to the EMS. So there's different levels of training that the firefighters that are going out on the calls can have. What level are our firefighters at?
We're
making those
all at the
responses?
advanced life support paramedic level,
Okay.
which is thousands and thousands of hours of initial training, both classroom and field with preceptors, clinical rotations from the operating room to the emergency room to labor and delivery to pediatrics. That all takes place over the course of a 12 to 18 month period. And then yearly, they're conducting anywhere from 40 to 60 hours of continuing education, just to keep those skill levels up.
And what's interesting is you and I have been sitting on a group to review possibly regionalizing the Ashland and Hopkinton Fire Department into one. And the one thing that I have found interesting in that is that we say fire department, and people think, okay, you're out fighting fires, but really the majority of what you're doing is those emergency medical types of things.
We're running about 50-50.
Okay.
50% in the medical arena, whether it be advanced life support, basic life support, well-being checks, those types of things. The other 50%, it would not be true to say it's all fires. I'd like to say it's all the other hazards that we're addressing, whether it be fire or electrical issues or hazardous material spills or the bat in the attic. All of those other calls for service make up that other 50%.
Okay. In the time that you've been on the fire department through your different positions, any one kind of incident or specific incident really stands out for you, either very difficult or just memorable?
You know, I've often said I've thought about writing a book, you know, the experiences of a small town fire chief. Some of them are just too funny or too emotional to talk about here today. But I think what has been the best for me is being in a community like Ashland and the folks that knew me, teachers, for example, that chased me around and said they better teach me to do something with my hands that now I get to work with on a professional level. It's that sense of community and belonging that has been most consistent and most important to me. I started my career here and I knew from day one that I was going to finish my career here, and I have no regrets.
And speaking of finishing a career, you're looking at retirement soon?
I am. I'm looking at the end of this year to move on and start a different chapter in my life. I think it's time for me after the years that I've been in, but I think it's also important for the organization. You know, when you have somebody in the corner office for 20 years, it can get stagnant. We can get used to our own bad habits and the way we do business, and so I think it's good for everybody.
Okay. Ashland, we're getting ready for the marathon. How is the fire department working to support what's going to be happening for security and safety here in town?
Well, that's just it. The fire department in Ashland and all along the route has been very involved in the training with, I think, last count is 65 different public safety agencies, both state, federal, military, private. It's been a tremendous amount of planning that's involved, and we are in a support role for that contingency. I am hoping that, much like all the other years, our biggest issue is Dixie cups and orange peels.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we are ready, as ready as we can be. There's been a lot of meticulous planning that's gone into. It's sad, really, that it has to be this way. But again, post 9/11, I guess it is this way.
Well, maybe not post 9/11, but certainly post what happened last year with the marathon. I mean,
Right.
I've been watching and attending the marathons for years since I moved into town. It was like, oh wow, isn't this a cool thing that we have this marathon running through our town, and we'd bring the kids and we'd bring our puppy and our food and our wagon, and we'd sit and we'd have an afternoon of it.
Yeah.
So what can people expect? Do they have to change their behavior completely? I know it's been asked to not bring backpacks, not bring coolers.
And I certainly don't want to speak out of turn from my colleagues in law enforcement, but they are making several recommendations. We've heard them repeatedly on the news as far as backpacks and containers and coolers. Right. I think what's most important this year is we need people to be aware. If it doesn't look right, say something.
Right.
If it doesn't look right or it doesn't seem right, say something.
So Chief Key, one thing I like to ask people when they come in is, if you are willing, is there something about you, now you've been here a long time in Ashland, but is there something about you that some people may not know that you are willing to share with the people who watch our show?
I've gotten into gardening, growing vegetables. I don't do a very good job at it. If I was to be growing weeds and so forth, I'd probably be better. But yeah, I started that about 3 or 4 years ago, and in fact, I'm working on turning over the beds this weekend.
Great. Well, thanks for coming by and sharing a little bit about yourself. Okay.
Thank you for having me.
And stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Around the Clock. I want to thank Chief William Key for coming in and speaking to us. It was great to hear from him. Unfortunate to hear that he'll be retiring at the end of the year, but I guess after a 20-year career as a chief and 34 years in the fire department, that sometimes it is time to step down. So
I think you broke that story.
Did I break it?
You might have broke that story.
I might have. I think it's been known certainly within the fire department, people knew, but for people around, I could have.
Metro West News. Good for you.
It was great talking to him, though. He's a great guy, and he's done a lot of great things for our community.
I didn't know he was a gardener either.
I did not either. That's why it's always good to ask that question. Well, we're here to talk about some of the around town events that have gone on and will be going on. I was able to attend the Ashland Education Foundation Gala. You, unfortunately, were not, but you're tan, so we know where you were. It was a great event. They raised a lot of money. They were able to have 350 people there and a lot of items up for silent auction, a lot of good things. Some things went for some real money, so it was nice.
Yeah, they've done a great job building that event,
Yep.
so I suspect next year it'll be even bigger.
Yep, yeah. So we're going to take you there for a few minutes and see what some people have to say about the gala and about the fundraising. I'm now here with Leslie Marcy, who is the president of the Ashland Education Foundation. Leslie, congratulations on a fantastic event.
Thank you, Luanda. We couldn't be happier. It's been a fantastic evening with record attendance.
It's a great event. It's a lot of fun. It brings a lot of people out. You have your silent auction. We talked to Melissa. That's a little bit different this year, so that's interesting. Are you finding more people are bidding because it's different?
Absolutely, and what's nice is you can bid from home. So if you couldn't necessarily make the gala this year, you could at least still participate in the silent auction. And really, the revenue from this entire gala is what we use to award next year's teacher grants. So, anything that we can do to increase the value of the prizes, we're all for it.
Now, you've changed your grant cycle a little. You've gone to one grant cycle, is that correct?
Yeah, we had to do that because what we were finding was we got all these great grants in the fall and we wanted to give away all our money, and then we found it hard to, how much do we save for the spring and how do we compare the fall grants to the spring grants? So we really just decided, because we were giving out, $3,000, $4,000 grants, that we really needed to be able to compare all of them together, and that hence the once a year grant cycle.
Good. Well, I look forward to hearing the final count, and congratulations again. I now have Lori Tosti, who is the chair of the Ashland School Committee, and Brooke Clenchy, who is our superintendent. Ladies, thank you for joining me tonight.
Absolutely. We're thrilled to be here tonight.
Well, and thank you for supporting the Ashland Education Foundation and this great event. I think it's just fabulous what you guys do to support them.
Oh, absolutely. And they do such a great job with this event, and it just gets bigger and better every year. It's amazing.
Absolutely. From everything that you can bid for online to just the climate in the room, it's just dynamic. It's an exciting place to be tonight.
And what do you ladies have your eyes on?
Oh, I know. I want the Coach bags. All of them. I think I want every one of them.
So how many raffle tickets did you buy?
I will not disclose that. If my husband sees this, I do not want him to know.
Unbelievable. You know, I mean, the last couple of years, it's been growing and growing, and to have it here in Framingham at the Sheridan is just amazing. The AFI does such a good job of putting on this event. It's really exciting.
Good. Anything you have your eye on that silent auction?
Well, I've actually, the first silent auction, I won a couple items, and I've been bidding on things for my kids. What works well is, going to the zoo and the museum. So I've got my eye on a couple of those items.
And having an event like this, and it's top notch, world class. The folks that put it together deserve a tremendous amount of credit for that. And we're here to enjoy ourselves, spend a little money to raise money for our kids and their education. I mean, it's just a win-win all the way around.
Now, if you talk to Adam Schuster, he recommends spending a lot of money.
He does, and he's walking around with his iPad, and he actually has people's names on there, so I've been going around with my iPhone making sure that I'm helping the cause, because it really is a great cause, and we're happy to be here. It's our first one, and I know one of many, and we're really excited about just the whole evening and watching the process.
And we are here with Melissa Duca. Melissa, I hear that all of this is to your doing.
Not all me. My co-chair was Amaris Pena Ramos, and then we had a lot of people help out. A lot of people. It's
a great event. The numbers have increased. We were talking to Leslie last time on our show. You jumped from 250 to 380.
Yep.
What was that like to try to organize that change?
It's a lot of work, but we're thrilled to have the more people, because more people bring in more revenue for the teachers. Luckily, we had a nice venue that was able to accommodate us at the growing numbers. We actually could have gone bigger.
Well, know that you have room for growth, so that's a good thing.
Yep.
And the silent auction is a great thing. A little bit different this year. What's the difference?
This year we decided to do it all online. Instead of having bid sheets in the room, we decided to do everything. Everyone brings their phone or their iPad. We have an iPad station if someone didn't have one. We have people on extras on loan, and everything's on computer this year.
Which was nice, because then if people couldn't come to the event, they could at least still be bidding.
Correct. And checkout is actually going to be much quicker. There won't be any lines, because everyone will automatically get their receipt emailed to them, and they just walk up to the table, show us their receipt on their phone, and walk away with their prize.
Great. Well, thank you for taking a few minutes. I won't keep you any longer, but congratulations on a fantastic event.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry I missed that. That looked like a good time.
We had a lot of fun.
Oh,
we
wow.
had a lot of fun, and it's always fun to see everyone dressed up and looking in their best, so it was good. And they had a great video with the principals and the people who ran it, so it was fun.
All right, on the school topic, we also visited the Mendez Marathon event. Those kids had a great time staging their own little mini marathon at the Mendez. We have some pics of that activity also.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous heights for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say
first time actually. So my name is Ifigenia. I come from Greece, as said. Greece, I don't know how many of you know where Greece is. Greece is a nice little town, little country, I'm sorry, in Europe. And the capital of Greece is Athens. And as Ms. Pilger just said, 26.2 miles away from Athens is a little town called Marathon.
Hey, those kids can move, okay? What are you gonna say? It's nice to see the energy. So, you saw some of the Norton brothers walk. I didn't catch much of that,
I
actually.
saw some of the pictures and I saw some of the stuff they were doing. They walked the marathon route. They had a bus with them, but they walked through part of it.
And they are...
The Norton brothers were two brothers that were injured in the
year.
bombing last year at the end of the marathon. So it was great to see their strength and willingness to be out here and walk the route. And it was great because they came into town, the police let people know about it, and Mr. Adams was able to bring some kids down to Route 135 and see them and cheer them on. And we were able to get to Mr. Adams and talk about how this whole thing came about.
It's interesting. We just got a call from the Ashland Police Department saying the convoy was coming through, and Ms. Aker, one of our deans, called me and says, "Hey, Mr. Adams, can we get the kids out, go down and cheer and support?" And I said, "Absolutely." So just last second for me, but wonderful the students and our staff willing to let them come out.
And how did the students react to being able to be a part of it?
It was great. Just see the. Again, we've had a number of runners. We had students last year ran in the marathon and didn't get to finish, and it's a very supportive community. And as I said to one of the brothers, the marathon started here, right? A long time ago.
It sure did.
So the Ashland Pride really came out today.
Well, that was actually pretty touching.
Yeah, again, it's one of those things where our principal, Jim Adams, heard about it. He was able to get some kids and get down there and just support people that are doing some wonderful things. So it was nice to see.
Well, speaking of people doing wonderful things, this is Ashland, and you're not in Ashland unless you're having food, apparently. So we were at yet another food event.
Yes. So we were at the Runner's Breakfast that's held at TJ's. We, as the Board of Selectmen, sponsor it. For those who are running, we have about 18, 20 people that are running with bib numbers to help raise money for Ashland for our gift grant program. So we got to talk to a few of them while they had breakfast at TJ's and wish them luck at the marathon on Monday. I want to thank you for running for us and thank you for coming here this morning. We really appreciate what you do because it then allows us as the Board of Selectmen to give out grants to the community. We're actually, a couple of people asked me, we are in the process right now. So we've gotten our grant applications in, then our next meeting we'll be reviewing them and awarding the grants. We have some great programs that have been requested, money for different sports organizations here in town, some different things for our schools, some health and wellness related things at the schools, some
arts. A lot of different reasons. You run for yourself to show that you can accomplish anything, personal goals, running for a charity or something like this. But I think this year, more than anything, is you're running for all of us as well, as a community, as a state, as a nation, to show that we are resilient, nothing will keep us down. And for all of the runners that are running this year, we're obviously very proud of all of them. We're especially proud of all of you for everything you put into this for the good of the community, and we appreciate that. So in addition to the bag of goodies and the proclamation, I'm going to award each of you a town manager's coin, which Patty already has one. She gets 2 now. So I started this a year ago when I started the job here, but it's got the town seal on the front, and on the back it's got the American flag and the words integrity, service, and excellence. And you certainly deserve all of those accolades and many more. there's a catch that goes with this, and I'm not going to challenge Patty today because he probably doesn't have it with her.
Mine's mounted.
It's mounted. Well, that's too bad. So there's a little catch that goes on with this. It's also called a challenge coin. And so if you've been presented one of these coins and you know somebody else has been presented a coin, or you happen to see me walking around, you can challenge that person to see if they are carrying their coin on them. And if they're not, then they have to buy you whatever drink you're drinking. Okay? And if they're younger, then it's like milk or something. But so it's kind of fun to do that. And I promise that I won't be standing along 135 on Monday holding my coin up in the air to see if you all have those. And I'll be drinking for free for a long time. But I hope you all have a wonderful race, and we're very proud, and we look to see you along the route as you come through Ashland on Monday. So, Jen, you get the first one. You have to shake my hand. This is how you do this. All right? Congratulations. Best of luck.
We want to give a shout out to the tow masters at TJ's. They are very good to us as a town, always donating for a variety of events, and it was a great event with the runners at TJ's.
Yeah, it was nice to get to talk to some of them beforehand and see, why they run and things like that. So thanks to TJ's and thanks to the runners, and now we get to see the race.
Time for the race.
Yeah.
And you did a terrific job all around the course.
Yes.
Top of the Telectron building, over by Marathon Deli.
Yeah, it was fun getting to see the race from different angles. Certainly that view from top was great to see, and it was fun to be able to show it to people, and it was just a fun day, and it always is. So.
We were unable to actually be in Ashland, but we're down in Natick doing a little barbecue event, and I got to send some pictures of stuff going on down there. So.
Yeah, because it's amazing how the race changes. Ashland, you still have that big pack. By the time you get to Natick, it starts spreading out a little bit. Yeah, so it was a different view from there.
Let's check out some of the footage of Yolanda watching the race.
So I'm Yolanda Greaves. We're here at the Ashland location for the Boston Marathon. I'm here with Joe Mignani, my co-host for the day.
Good morning, Yolanda.
Thanks for coming and joining me.
Thank you for having me. I have my Boston Strong shirt on. I just want to make sure everybody saw that. If you can't see that, you're all in trouble. And if you don't see these wonderful signs out here along the route, one of them says, "No more hurting people." That's the theme for this Boston Marathon. I'm sure it is for many people around here. And already there's over 300 or 400 people standing, waiting for the runners to come along. So looks like we're going to have a great day here, Yolanda.
It does. And what's nice about Ashland is there's always so much support for the runners, so many people coming and watching and standing on the sides. So we look forward to bringing you the race from this vantage point. The mobility impaired runners left at about 10 to 9. So we should be seeing them come by soon. The wheelchairs are leaving Hopkinton at about 9:15. The elite women, at 9:32. And then the elite men at 10 o'clock with the waves of over 34,000 runners this year will be coming through. So we'll show you all of that as we do our coverage today.
I'm here watching the marathon. It's an Ashland tradition. I've missed the last few years, but I'm glad to be here now.
Is there anything you look forward to in particular about the Boston Marathon?
Yeah, not really. It's always interesting to see the spirit, and everyone, comes out here and screams so loud for the tradition and everything.
A lot of people run and stuff.
Yeah. Do you have a certain, do you like the bikers or the runners or
I like the runners.
Yeah, nice.
Usually we have friends over, but since most of the roads are blocked, they wait till after the race is over. So it's typically in the morning, we just come out here, we spend an hour or two.
I'm here at the Boston Marathon 2014 with some folks who came out today. Can you tell us why you're here?
Well, my son, Alex Abbey, who works sometimes for Ashland Cable,
is running the Boston 2014 Marathon, as is Ben Johnson.
My son, Ben Johnson, he's running with Alex. They've been longtime friends, and this is a project that they wanted to do.
And what is this project about, or how does it work?
Well, Alex titled it 26.2, the Boston Marathon Project, and it really is about the recovery from the terrible events last year at the 2013 Marathon and the process of training and what the city...
If they come by while we're down here, maybe do.
So we're standing outside the Telecron building, the intersection of 135 and Chestnut Street in Ashland. We are waiting as the elite women are coming by. We're going to see who's in the front. Are they the Kenyans or the Ethiopians? It's 1949 as they're running by. You can hear the crowd cheering them on. Woo! Flanagan, Deba. the Hoyts coming as they do their last run for the 118th. You can hear the crowd cheering, and this is just a great sight. As he goes by. The elite men are about to pass us. They're at 18:27, so about a minute less than the women when they pass by this point. We can't see who's in the lead yet, hopefully some Americans. A couple of Americans are in that pack. And here's a few more Americans coming by. That was the first wave of the elite men. The rest of them are spread out, and then behind them is the pack. We're here with Greg Fox from the Ashland Police Department. Greg, what are you seeing today on the route?
An unprecedented amount of spectators, more than I've ever seen in my career. Beautiful day, good crowd.
Well behaved, looking just to support the runners?
Absolutely. Yep, everybody's well behaved and having a good time.
Well, thanks for stopping by and thanks for doing what you're doing today. We really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
We've changed our vantage point and we're now at the top of the Telecron building, still at the corner of 135 and Chestnut Street. We see the runners going by us. Joe, what is this sight to you?
It's just totally phenomenal looking at all these different runners coming through town. I think I told you earlier, they reminded me of Easter eggs with legs as they're coming through with all the different colors, T-shirts and stuff on. It's just amazing. Totally amazing, the number of people that are running. And they don't look winded or tired yet, so that's a good sign. And hoping this tailwind will get them right into Boston without issue.
So we're on the second wave. There's 4 waves of runners that are going through, and we're probably getting to the tail end of this second wave. And it was amazing when they first came through. They literally were sidewalk to sidewalk, filling the street down below. So we'll show you a few more shots in a little while. So we're still up at the Telecron building, and we're on the phone with Mark Jewett, who's over in Natick. Mark, can you tell us what you're seeing and what you're doing?
Hi, Yolanda. We're down here at the Natick Veterinary Hospital. There's a big party in the parking lot. All the folks here watching the race are being fed by Fireflies, barbecue, and beyond. We're right in front of the water station here. And it's shoulder to shoulder. It's a big wave coming through here. We saw the lead runners run through about 4 or 5 minutes ago. And now it's body to body across the road here.
Well,
I suspect this is the first big wave we're seeing.
Yeah, that was the first big wave. You'll then see a little bit of a break. We just are seeing the end tail of the second big wave, and there's still 2 more to go. but it's just great to see it.
Yeah, no, there's a big crowd down here. You can hear the cowbells and the people cheering. Everybody's having fun. Big crowd of tough people down here with their white tough hats, cheering on the tough sponsored runners. So lots of water cups already on the ground. Been quite a few people through here already in this first wave.
Good. Yeah, the first wave was pretty big. Second wave was just as big. So we'll see what happens with wave 3 and 4. And try and save some of that pulled pork for us. I think we'll have to be by later. What do you think, Joe?
Sounds like a great idea. Mark, stay safe over there.
So we're here in the Telecron building still. We have the third wave going by us. Joe, any thoughts on this wave?
Unlike the other two, there's so many more people running. It's incredible, totally incredible. What I'm impressed at is the people that are here along the side of the roads, all along Ashland. There's many, many more than there were in years past, and rightfully so. What a historic day for this entire state and for this marathon. And it's the pride of the folks from Massachusetts that are out here, and the pride of Ashland and the residents and everybody here supporting the marathoners for doing what they're doing, and it's a tribute to them. You know, it's two people tried to make a difference, and it didn't work.
Right.
It didn't work, and so proud that Massachusetts as a whole was able to show them, yeah, we are Boston strong, and that's what we're all about. So I hope many others see this, realize it, and don't think ever to do anything stupid again or foolish again.
Yeah, I think it's nice, this being the 118th running. There's so many people running. This is one of the largest fields they've had, and people have said that they're running because they couldn't finish last year, or they hadn't run a marathon before, and this was the one they wanted to run. What I find interesting, especially with Boston, is the number of people that run for charities. I mean, we have our Ashland runners who have numbers, and those funds come to our Selectmen Grant program, so we can give stuff, give money out and funds to people here in Ashland. But Boston is one of the largest marathons that have really big charities that people run for, between cancer, leukemia, a lot of different things that people run for to support. And it's nice to see, and as you said, the support that we're seeing on the side of the roads for these runners is just so amazing. So
the individual people that are holding signs up is just very inspirational, and it gets emotional. You start seeing some of these people running, and there are people that have ailments and handicaps that are standing along the routes, or sitting in their wheelchairs along the routes, supporting those running for them. And that to me is just very emotional, and wow, it's wonderful. It's a great feeling. It's a great day.
Well, and I have to say, Boston, this marathon, I think, is emotional for a lot of people, either as a spectator or as a runner. I mean, you've been either working or being here. I know for myself, since we've been in town, we try to come to the marathon and to watch these people run by, especially when we saw the disabled people the disabled runners go by. It was just inspiring to see, amputees with one leg. There was an amputee with 2 fake legs. It was just amazing watching them go by and being able to support them.
Right. And I agree, Yolanda. It's just incredible. We wake up with our little aches and pains, and you come here and you see these people running by, and you say, what pain?
Right.
Yeah. No, you put it away. It's not there anymore. Yep. So you give them all the credit for running and having the fortitude to doing it. So God bless them all.
Yep.
It's incredible. Look at them all.
Okay, well, thanks for being here with us. I'm on the phone with Peter Chisholm, who works with our fire department. He is down at street level. I am up on the Telecron building. We're watching the third wave go by. Peter, what is it like down there for you?
Well, right now it's pretty quiet. We've been watching the runners go by. We have our department is kind of spread out both sides of Route 135. We also have assistance from Holliston Fire, Sherman Fire, and the State Forestry Department. And what we've done.
So is everything going smoothly, nice and quiet for everybody?
Yes, they are. It's been very smooth. We have what we've done. We spread the equipment out. So we have some folks here. We have others at Main and Union, up by Cherry Street, and down by Fountain Street. And so we're pretty well dispersed. And we can handle anything that might develop today, and anything develop in Ashland.
Great. Well, Peter, thanks for that update, and thank you to our fire department and all our personnel and our police personnel and all the other people that are here helping to make sure everyone stays safe and everything goes smoothly. So we're here with Tony Schiavi, the Ashland Town Manager. Tony, how are things going from your perspective today?
It's really a great day. I mean, this has to be one of the biggest crowds ever, and the only way I can describe it, it really is electric. People are just so supportive of the runners, of the community. They're being very respectful of the security measures that we have in place. Everybody's just very cooperative, wanting to be out here and having a great time, and just supporting, the runners, the day, what it means. It's just amazing. It really is. And for my first one here in Ashland, it's just exciting. It really is.
So you've never watched it from this perspective before?
Certainly not from up this high perspective. I grew up just up the street on Waverly Street. We used to sit on the front porch as a young boy and watch the marathon go by. But to be right there down on the street and being in amongst the folks, I talked to a lot of residents. I've stopped at a couple different spots along the way. I do have the ability to get access fairly close, so that's been great just to talk to some of the residents about what they're feeling for today, and they're just really excited and happy to be out here.
Well, our hope is that it stays calm the whole day. Thank you for taking a few minutes and talking to us.
Great, thank you very much.
It's 12:12 and we're getting ready to wrap up our coverage of the 118th Boston Marathon here in Ashland. The interesting part is the women elite runners have already finished, with Rita Jeptu being the winner. This is her third Boston Marathon that she's won. The elite men have already finished, with Meb Keflezig having won the men's running this year. But we still have many runners coming through here in Ashland that still have a long way to go before that finish line. So we applaud everyone who's running, and as we sign off, we're hoping that everything stays running smoothly. Joe, any last thoughts as we close up?
I just have to say a few things. The very inspiring scene this morning was when Team Hoyt came through town, and it was incredible because you saw everybody standing up, applauding, screaming, yelling and screaming. You knew they were coming through. And when they came by, he was slowing down and he was saying goodbye to everybody. And that to me was just one of the biggest thrills to see Team Hoyt come by for the last time. So I wish Dick and his son the very best, and thank you for the wonderful memories. And these folks that are still running, who knows? Maybe they'll beat the times that our two finishers have already got. So we don't know actually who won the race yet until everybody's done. So, I hope, there's a diamond in the rough out there that does that and beats somebody that deserves it. But they're still coming through here. It's incredible. It's incredible. If you haven't come to a Boston Marathon, and especially in Ashland, come, because it's incredible. It's not like what you see in Boston near the end where they straggle through. It's just the mass amount of people that come through here. The support, the camaraderie, and everything that's here, and the support that's showed by everybody along the route. It's incredible. And it's been a pleasure working with you today, young lady.
Joe, thanks for joining me. It's been
Thank you for having me. It has been a lot of fun. And to those, have a safe run. And thank you to all the law enforcement that are out there in droves. Those that you see, those that you don't see, protecting the runners. And they're doing a great job. And let's hope, through God's will, that it ends on a better note than it did last year.
Joe, thanks for being with me.
Thank you, Yolanda.
Thanks for watching, and we're going to leave you with a little bit of the runners that are still going by. So thanks again.